It actually does go back, I'm sure, to the fact that my mother was the one that interested me in science. So it didn't seem at all unusual to me that a woman should be interested in science. My mother was very important in my becoming a scientist because she encouraged what I was doing, saw to it that I had books, particularly. I can remember one specific time when we went to get a book. I wanted a book on insects, and I picked out one which was clearly intended for lay people, and my mother picked up the scientific book at the same time. And I remember very quickly that I tired of the first one that I had picked out, and the one that she picked out I still have and still use, actually. It was in the middle of the Second World War. You couldn't just order a microscope at that time because everything was embargoed. But fortunately, my father knew someone at the Bausch and Lomb optical company. He was able somehow to get a demonstration scope. So I've had a microscope for quite a long time. I was an undergraduate at Yale, and just in my general reading, I ran across this picture of some giant chromosomes of a frog or salamander, and I really couldn't believe the magnification on the picture, on the image in the book. So I decided to look for myself to see if there really were chromosomes that were this big. So that's how I actually got interested in giant chromosomes. I've never stopped studying them ever since. I guess I was naively unaware of the discrimination that was against women, and so when various women asked if they could work with me, I said yes, and so I think I got a reputation of being a person who would accept particularly female graduate students, because it was quite a prejudice. Among other things, people thought that, well, if you trained a woman, she wouldn't be able to get a job anyway, so why would you train her? But it turns out that none of my students, female or male, ever had any trouble getting jobs, so that wasn't true. I did have quite a number of very successful female students over the years, including one Nobel laureate. It's interesting fundamentally to know about your environment, where you live, what's your place in the universe, and how it all works. I don't think there's anything more interesting than that myself. And so I would like to steer people to understand that the natural world is just as interesting as anything that people have done themselves. I've never tired of it, and I never can quite understand. People say, oh, science, I couldn't possibly study that, it's too hard. It's not that science is difficult, it's that science is interesting and it's fun. And there's lots of new things to learn out there, and there will probably be no end of new things in the future. The more we learn, the more we learn there is to learn, basically.